Hingle McCringleberry over there.
I can press mute.
We're live. There it is.
We're live?
We're 5 seconds in. We're off.
You caught me off. I'm getting the details on this blockbuster trade that just came down.
Unbelievable.
Just
Sidney Crosby, a Calgary Flame. What an incredible day for the Calgary Flames.
Curtis Lazar to New Jersey. Stop the presses. Welcome to the program, everybody. It's Barn Burner on a Friday, trade deadline day, as we kind of expected. Is he frozen or what's happening? On trade deadline day, as we are watching Rhett drink his soup.
It's so good.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks delicious.
The seafood bisque boom, you'd love it.
Oh, yeah. So what are we putting in a seafood bisque? Like some crab, some lobster, scallops?
I don't know. The shuffler got it for me.
Yeah.
Can I ask a dumb question for a guy that doesn't spend as much time in the kitchen as you two very talented chefs? What is a bisque, and how does it separate itself from things that aren't bisque?
It's a blended, creamy type of thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know what.
Yeah, it's something I'm guessing, and I'll Google it. But I know I enjoy making a tomato bisque, but it has you put some cream in there, or sour cream, or Greek yogurt, plain.
I'm feeling some dairy product. That's probably
Yeah,
what
you're
we're
putting
getting at here.
some dairy. What
Bisque
makes a
is
soup a bisque?
Smooth, creamy, highly seasoned soup of French origin, classically based on a strained broth of crustaceans. It could be made from lobster, crab, shrimp, or crayfish alongside chowder. Bisque is one of the most popular seafood soups.
I'm fucking starving.
This one is awesome. I'm pumped about this.
So it sounds
You're
like
gonna have
bisque is traditionally seafood tied.
Are people seeing us? Because I apologize. I'm not stopping.
No, you're good. Just
Well, yeah,
You're
they can
being
see
Rhett.
us. Yeah.
the authenticity factor is still very high, Rhett. Yeah.
We are separately together in the Tower Chrysler studios. Tower Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Calgary's #1 Tower Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealer of the year. Congrats to everybody at Tower for being the #1 tower in town. It's a tower town. Flames lose again last night, this time in regulation. You know, it's can't beat the bad teams, but play really well against the good teams, and have been playing. But now you're losing against the bad teams, and then you end up losing to Vegas, and you lose to Boston, and you lose to Toronto. Not ideal, gentlemen. I think it was very well put. I read the quotes this morning that Blake Coleman says, "We're a very good team that doesn't know how to win."
Which does sound like a bit of an oxymoron, doesn't it? Good teams win, bad teams don't win. I see what he's saying. I get the point. It's just like you could make a very strong case that it's a nice collection of players and it looks good on paper. On ice, it hasn't led to wins, and that's how we determine who's good at it.
But at the same time, we've all said we've liked the effort, and they've looked good, and they've been close. I think they are a very good team that seemingly does not, in fairness, they don't seem to know how to win, at least with any regularity.
Yeah, so they haven't got saves on, I would say, probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the games this year. And then on a night last night where they actually get saves, the goal scoring is 1. It's frustrating. They lead the league in 1-goal losses. They are bottom 3 in 5-on-5 save percentage. Like everything feels so close, but there's no column for close, right? Like they're 5 back, and the Jets have a game in hand. And the only reason the Jets are not way further ahead is they've dropped 6 of 7. This last 2 weeks was a chance for the Calgary Flames. If you could just play fucking 500. You would have made some ground. If you can close out a 3-1 win in the third period, you'd have, like if you're within 2 or 3 of the Jets here, that's feeling good. They got back-to-back home and home with Edmonton this weekend. They are what they are at this point, fellas. We know that, and you could say they're a good team. Guess what? Good teams don't have 30th fucking goaltending in the league.
Yeah, it's
Pinder.
goaltending.
Pinder is he is down on the Flames retro today.
See, and I'm opposite. I've actually come around on them where I was really ready to trade everyone and throw out the garbage and just swap things clean and start anew. But I've liked their effort.
Effort's
And
been good. Skaters have been good.
Yeah.
Last night, the third was not good. They didn't generate anything dangerous. But generally speaking, the last 2 weeks, with probably the exception of the Detroit opener of the homestand, they've played well, and the goaltending's let them down. It just happened to be last night they actually did get goaltending, and they didn't play that.
Sheldon Keefe said after the game he thought that was his team, the Maple Leafs, their best third period of the season.
And you know what? They brought in 2 new defensemen that didn't play in Edmonton the night before. They got 9D, and that's not including Muzzin, who's hurt, and others that are on IR. 9. And, that's one way to help the burden of a back-to-back. You go 11-7 with 2 new D in there. They look great protecting a lead in the third, didn't they?
Wow.
Star players, eh?
Good players. Good team.
Marner was terrific. Matthews
but
doesn't score, but is so dangerous.
That goal he scored was beautiful. Absolutely. Blah, blah, blah. Jump in front of that shot, someone. He's block it, please.
Yeah, or just don't get dunked on if you're Luch there. Jeez.
Yeah, or fourth line, don't turn it over in the corner.
They played a lot of hockey, that fourth line.
Yeah, some suggesting on Afterburner last night too much against the other team's best line that includes, a couple 100-point guys.
Well, I would agree with those comments and that conclusion.
It's infuriating.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not new, and I don't want to be like, hey, Daryl, gets an F on that Thursday night game because he forgot to line match. He never fucking does it. But you can do a little bit, just enough to keep the one line without a shutdown center out there against, 2 of the most dangerous offensive players in the sport. Come on.
I think they've screwed up on coaching a few times this year.
I agree. We talked about it last night. So the Pelche comments, that's too far. Taking shots at the media, whatever. That's kind of Daryl's MO. Huberdeau taking a shit when he's on the training table. That immediately puts that relationship and his confidence into question. Lucic on that second line for over a month.
But not just Daryl.
Stubbornness on Pelche. Sure, and the power play's been dog shit. Kirk Muller can remember that one.
Power play, but I remember the game in the Island. Why are you playing 2 kid defensemen when you effed that up?
Well, they had Tanev out and someone else hurt.
Yeah, but they still
when they were playing, yes. And dude, the fourth line, as good as Walker Duehr's been, they don't have to be on the ice twice in the last 3.5 minutes against Boston. No. If you don't get a miraculous save late, you don't get a single point against Boston. You don't have to roll lines all the time. And I see the value in it, but man, when you see that fourth line come over the boards in the final 3 minutes and they haven't had a good night, oof.
Well, I guess that's my problem with it all is that what's their contribution, the fourth line? What's their role? If you're on a deep playoff run and Trevor Lewis, you trust him, and they've been shutting down, and they're up by 1, and they shut down the other team completely. Okay, you've proven that you should be out. Yeah, they don't do anything to prove that they should be out there, though, at all. Dewar does, but
And then micro again last night. Daryl doesn't get the goalie to the bench until 40 seconds left. He had a ton of opportunities between 4 and 2 minutes to do it and didn't. And that's a minor thing, but I was asking.
It's not a minor thing. How's a minor thing?
It was
it's not a minor thing.
It was noticed. And Jacob Markstrom's still in the net. It's like, guys, you have the zone. Do you want to play 5-on-5 or 6-on-5? I know which way is easier to tie the game.
I remember
Daryl's had some missteps, Rhett, and look, it doesn't mean he's a bad coach. He's a great coach. It doesn't mean I think I can coach better than him. I clearly can't. But there are other coaches that are in this league that would do a lot of these things very differently, that are very good coaches. There is more than one way to do this.
Yeah, I don't disagree. There's been misses. The coaching staff, goaltending and coaching decisions all the way through have been interesting. Or that's saying it nicely, I guess. I'm being positive today.
If you had middle third of the league, somewhere between, let's call it 11 and 22, like the middle third, and middle third of the league for power play and for goaltending, it's not even close. We're not talking about a bubble. We're talking about, are you okay trading this year's first to add a serious weapon right now?
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Do you know? Is he frozen or deep in thought? No,
I'm deep in
I saw him
thought.
blink there. Yeah,
No, I'm deep in thought.
Blinking, or is this?
Here's the thing. If you can't rely on that goaltending, nothing else matters.
I'm done a lot this year.
Right? Last night, hey, they finally got good goaltending and they lost. Shame on the power play. Shame on 5-on-5. Okay, well, then do it again on Saturday, and then on Tuesday and Wednesday or Monday, Tuesday, whatever those games are. I'll take that performance, but they have not been able to duplicate. That is the problem. Last night should have been, hey, Toronto had a good third and whatever, but how many games has the goaltending given them a chance or been the reason that they've won? And it's been so few. Not near enough.
Not many.
I was thinking about it lots last night because it was clear that he was on his game and he was playing well. And you're like, geez, man, that would have been good. And I was reflecting on myself and how I was pissed off. Or these guys aren't trying to. I think I underestimate how Marty Biron came in for Hasek one year. And that's a major change. And I think I forgot or have forgotten how a bad goal can be so demoralizing for a team, especially when it's happening over and over again. And especially when it's the first effing shot of the game or one of the first 5 shots of the game, which we've proven, showed the other day, happens so much. It sets that I'm jacked up. Let's go. We're going to start making headway in the standings. We're going to start to rally. Here we go. How did that go in? And it just I think I've underestimated how demoralizing it is. And then sitting here in the rest of the game, I'm like, these guys are deflated and they're not trying. And I'm like, well, maybe if the goalie hadn't shat his pants early on, they'd have been able to carry some momentum in.
I don't think this is a work ethic issue with this team. There have been games where they've been a bit flat, but it's 82 you're asking a team to play. I think generally speaking, there's been good work ethic from this group. The biggest thing is, as you said, Dean, if you're going to try to play the sport and not get goaltending or have the second best goalie every night, it is so hard just to have, get into the top 8. If you strip away goaltending, like everything else passes the sniff test. The power play is not great, but if all those other metrics are fine and the power play happens to be bottom 10, you can survive it. You can't survive bad goaltending unless you got like a McDavid and a Draisaitl. Only 2 or 3 teams have guys like that, right?
And it's broken record, and I get it. But it would be one thing if you came into this year with an unproven goaltender, or you brought up somebody from the A and you were giving him his first shot. You signed him as a free. He did it a year ago. He's done it throughout his career, and
last 5 years.
Don't be a Vezina guy. Okay, that's a lot to ask. Just don't be friggin' dead last 5-on-5.
Yeah, no, it's. People are like, if they had goaltending, well, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. No. What would you expect from a guy that finished top 5 2 of the last 3 years in Vezina voting? You'd expect him to be a top 10 goalie, and if it's an off year, top 15. If you're telling me somewhere between 50 and 60, that's a huge outlier. This is not an expected outcome. It's the exact same coach. It's almost the same decor. It's the exact same goalie coach, goalie department. It's the same 2 goalies. Last year, they had 10 shutouts, and no one scored fewer goals against a tandem in the NHL 5-on-5. How do you go from number 1 to bottom 3? They didn't get the Jennings because of special teams goals and
you
shit,
got to see this is coming. That's what you're paid for.
Nobody
You got to know these things.
Like nobody did. Like nobody said this tandem that was by most measures one of the top 3 in the NHL last year will now be one of the bottom 3s. Nobody predicted it.
You know what it is?
It undoes everything.
It's Huberdeau hates Markstrom.
There you go.
Yeah,
and likewise, from Florida, they probably hate each other. And it's Seward both of their seasons.
Boy, that's a reach. I'm working on that one.
Well, come on. Has Huberdeau had a good year? Has Markstrom had a good year?
No, there's something there. Then
it's their first year playing together in how long?
They were no good in Florida together either. So, I mean, there's a common thread here.
Obviously.
There it is. Solved.
Okay, don't yell because it sounds really shit.
Really loud.
Fellas!
No, stop that, please.
Yeah.
If you're going to overmodulate, you got to do a Walker Doer for us. That's it.
That's the story there. So,
by the way, Afterburner last night, if you want more. There's an hour. We did a non-Kerr record, Rhett. We were 2 minutes light of the Kerr record for overtime.
Wow. What was?
Well, it's because we spun in circles for about 20, 25 minutes about.
We went big picture on the org.
Trading, or how is they good trade without UFAs, pending UFAs, that whole thing.
Off-season GM, owner, coach. There's lots of meat on that bone.
Well,
good
good
times. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
let's relive some of it. I want to hear.
Wherever you get your podcast, download the podcast.
When you go through, you're not gonna be able to sleep tonight, right? You go walk through that graveyard by your house, the cemetery. You can throw it on there. It'll fit right in the motif. Boom. I tweeted out before afterburner. Come for the funeral. Stay for the triangular sandwiches with no crust. It was really felt like a wake of sorts for this year's
pizza buns in Frontier. You always had little pizza buns. Chopped up pepperoni and the sauce. You just melted on top, toasted a little bit.
Cheese, yeah.
Real good.
Speaking of pizza, look at there's Mad Rose Pub.
Hey,
Mad Rose Pub right at the bottom of your screen. Mad Rose Pub, our ticket hookup, our ticket giveaway sponsor for the season. We have had it out there on social media, and we continue. We have tickets for the game against the Minnesota Wild.
Have we given these away?
Not yet.
Wolvie's got it. I think Wolvie's got it.
We have the tickets. We have social media. We've been doing the thing. We are going to select a winner over the course of today. The winner will be, obviously, we're going to contact you. If you're not contacted,
you didn't win.
Didn't win. So there will be no need for you to. Did I win? Did you give away the ticket? Did you? We're idiots. But, at the same time, if you don't hear from us, just kind of trust that we've picked somebody else.
Yeah.
There's one pair of tickets, So tickets for tomorrow against the Wild. And then we got other games coming up. We got 3 more throughout the month of March. But it'll be a big one at the Dome. It's still, for whatever reason, and Rhett, I'll ask you this. And so Mad Rose Pub, there you see it up. Mad Rose Pub.
Thank you, boys.
Love it's been so good to us right from the start. They said, how about if we give some tickets away? That'd be great. 15 Royal Vista Place, 20 beers on tap, kid-friendly over the weekend and into Monday. Great food, great atmosphere, great people. 15 Royal Vista Place. I saw somebody, again, on social media. It's like, take a photo when you're at Mad Rose Pub. Show us the grub. Boomer and the guys on Barnburner keep talking about the food. Take the photo. And they've been, okay, I'll take some photo. I'll take some photos.
Beautiful.
That's right. But, I forget where I was going with that. Oh yeah, last night's game. It just felt like I don't know why that game just really felt like
deflating.
It was a very tough opponent, but it just.
Well, it's because
you got a goaltending performance and you still didn't win.
Yeah, it's because you need points. Your goaltender finally played, and you thought, geez, this is against a good team. If we can pick up points here and beat all the teams we're supposed to. The one nice thing you got to take out of last night is Markstrom's game. His his body language was completely different.
Yep, totally. He looked bigger in net.
Fast and into it and focused. Like it was a different goalie. So. If you're it did feel deflating, and it feels like it's insurmountable almost. But Winnipeg's struggling, and if Markstrom could play, let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, Coleman post game was pretty raw. We'll play that in the Pinder report, and I know that as much as you sort of felt it was a big one, Dean, and we did. I think after that Boston game, there were so many goods to take away, and then you add goaltending. And you don't get points,
yeah. And my whole thing was
20 games left.
Yeah, because I was kind of spinning off of the fact we had tickets for the Wild.
A big one.
It's a monster, truly. And we've kept saying it. You've been saying it. You can go on a heater. A lot of times, teams that are out that get in at the 11th hour, it's because they went on a run, and you need somebody else at this point for the Flames. Somebody's got to step back a little bit. You do not have your destiny in your own hands. But if you saw Markstrom last night, is that the type of performance you need? It is.
Yep.
You held the Leafs to 2 goals. There's not a lot of teams that do that. 20 games left. If you're hanging in, then that's how you're hanging in. Markstrom back in the net, Saturday against the Wild, win it. Even though it's kind of the Jets, like you say, that you're kind of looking at, but still, that's somebody right there in that group.
Well, And look, Jets last 7, loss, win, loss, shootout loss. That's a rough go. Their last, it's 1 win since mid-Feb.
Yeah.
So there you go. Edmonton tonight. Go Oilers, right, Rhett?
Edmonton
Yes,
again on tomorrow?
Love the Oilers. I'm tired of you and your Oiler love on this show, frankly.
Seriously, Rhett. Home and home.
I know, but I mean, they're so good and easy to love and adorable and cuddly and all those things. They've got a great mascot and wonderful, wonderful arena.
That's what it is.
Weather's no mosquitoes. It's good. It's a good spot.
Somebody, you maybe saw it pop up there, was asking about the soup. They joined the show late. What were you having for soup today? What was it?
Seafood bisque, and it was delicious. Although it was hot, so I got a bit of a sniffle going on.
Oh yeah. So is it a soup store? This because you've been having a lot of soup.
The Shoveler's been a soup fan her whole life, kind of like you, Dean. And I like soup, but I like food, so I'm just kind of. And I don't know. And over the last month, I've started to have soup, and I've just been like, that is hitting the spot. My affection for soup has grown leaps and bounds to the point where I am now craving it, much like I used to crave nachos or steak or spaghetti. Soup is now top 5 on my list of things to consume.
Is that right?
Rankings. Yeah, wow.
Yep.
Interesting.
I had a bowl of soup last night.
Another
bowl of soup today. Like it.
Love it.
I'm loving it.
I always have a hard time when you go to a restaurant and you're going to have lunch. Well, what do you want as your side? Do you want soup or a salad or whatever? Well, I want both. I want a side and I want soup.
What's the soup today?
But I don't know. What's the soup today?
The soup de jour. That sounds delicious.
So I'll have that. So, Retro, with that in mind, you say Markstrom giving you a little hope. The way the guys have been playing, you've been impressed. Does Brad Treliving go out and give that team a little bit of help today?
No,
they need just a little bit of help.
No, there's no help to be had. The help to be had is Markstrom playing well and Huberdeau getting a few more points. You don't need to tweak Jack S. It's got to happen in the room, and there's no sense fuddling about with anything. If you're brave, go ahead and sell if you want to add assets of some sort. I would be more open to that, but because I don't think that those players, I don't think you can get rid of Toffoli and probably think that you're going to make the playoffs.
No.
But the picture that's being painted in my mind, and Pinder has preached it, is you got to roll it with it next year. And if you're going to add some picks or whatever, go ahead. But trading for someone to help you right now, I think is a fool's errand.
I'm seeing a lot of outrage on Flames Twitter about inactivity, and I find that a little confusing because they are in a mucky middle spot. I'm not saying that that's where we go for rational thought, but people that I think are not morons are getting sort of emotionally tied and saying sell, Nashville's selling. It's like, well, Nashville's a totally different setup. They're transitioning to a new GM. They've got an older core. This group is all back next year, and you don't. I think making deals for the sake of deals isn't what you want to do here, especially if you haven't even committed to a GM for the summer.
And you're selling low on everything.
I mean,
maybe
you could sell high on Toffoli, but I think.
But then you look for Toffoli next year.
Exactly, and it's not as if there's a deal to be made now that you couldn't make this summer. I don't believe that. Maybe you get 90% of the value, but that's probably worth it to give this team a chance in the final 20 games. Are they a coin flip to get in? They're probably considerably less than that. But if they get a Markstrom in net, wouldn't you hate to have Markstrom hot and you're you missed by 1 point and you traded to Foley?
What is
we could have got 90% of that return this summer anyway. What the hell were we doing?
What is that? Well, and if you go on a run, you had a chance to beat the best team, maybe the best team ever to put together a season in the NHL this week.
Boston, yeah.
You had a chance last night where you only gave up 2 goals against one of the top offenses and one of the top 5 teams in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how you're going to play, and Markstrom plays out the way he did last night from the start of the year, your home ice advantage. You're probably going to play the Oilers again in the second round and have to, right? It's completely different. And I know I'm okay if the mandate is. I'm still okay with it. I don't think it's as necessary now. But if you want to start new, go ahead. And if that's your game plan, I'm fine with that. Do not monkey around with being in the middle of the pack and adding a small piece here or tweaking a little bit there. F off. You either stick to what you thought was going to work and you had a goaltender that sieved out, or wipe the slate clean and start over.
I agree. Yeah, and it's what we've talked about. What's the plan here? Don't just sell until you know what the plan is. And I find it hard to be convinced they have a plan if we don't know who's running this team in the summer. And look, maybe it's Treliving and we're making too much about an expiring contract, but also maybe it's not. We don't know. And the fact that he doesn't have a new deal doesn't lead me to believe here's our concrete action plans for the summer, because that's what the GM does, and he's not got a contract.
What if you get a Tanner Jeannot offer? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. That's what, multiple picks for Toffoli.
Sell them.
You probably have to do it.
Yeah.
If you get it,
which I don't think you get, but
everything is for sale. Everything in the world is for sale and for the right price.
If Wayne Gretzky can leave Edmonton in the 80s, anyone can get moved. Anyone that wants to overpay for any asset, just do it. And look, that wouldn't mean, oh no, they're not going to be competitive next year. If you got a first, a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth, guess what you can do in draft week? You can move those for players that have contracts. You don't have to use all those picks by all means. Is it
idiotic for me to sit here? Because how often we do this show every day, and you sit hours before and you think about what am I seeing? What do I think? Is it crazy? We're 60 bloody games in, 62 games in, that I still think there's a real chance that they come back with the same group next year and they're miles better. That Huberdeau isn't as bad, that Markstrom is better off.
How could Markstrom not be better off? Christ, like this has been his worst
year.
But
we've seen 62 games of this, which seems to be what it is. By now you could feel like you make a definitive conclusion on what you're watching.
Yeah.
So what is a summer going to change? I don't know. I'm inclined to think it's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Am I an idiot?
Here's my thought. Could you have a better power play next year with the same personnel? Absolutely. Would I be surprised if someone else was running the power play or they went to school on the power play all summer? No, that's exactly what they're going to do. You make some gains there. Now, Markstrom might not be second in Vezina voting next year. I got to move my hands to fit the frame here. But he's not going to be fucking in the 30th out of 32 teams in a platoon. Like, the truth's in the middle there, right?
Yeah.
See, if you were going to do your goalie voodoo thing, you really need to kind of you got to because it's been goalie voodoo this year for sure. It's been crazy.
And look, we see it all the time with goalies. I say it again and again. The year the Penguins moved away from Marc-Andre Fleury, a future Hall of Famer, they packaged him with a significant pick to get him out. He had a goals against over 3. He had a save percentage under 900. It was what we're watching with Markstrom this year. He was bad for a year, and he bounced back as one sensational with Vegas in that first year. He wins a Vezina before he leaves Vegas. Like, I'm not here to tell you that Jacob Markstrom's going to win a Vezina next year, but I am here to tell you he's going to have a tough time being as bad as he's been this year. It almost feels impossible he's been so bad.
I talked to a guy that works for the Islanders yesterday, and he told me that the Islanders stuck to their guns this year because they're like, it was a shitty year last year. It was one of those, we had a weird schedule. We can try and do a bunch of stuff, but we don't even know what we have because it was so unique and bad. You can't account for it. Let's try this again.
Another example of that even more talented roster than the Islanders, because I agree with you. There's the 22 games on the road. They had some injuries, and injuries are a part that really you can't put your finger on here in Calgary this year, but it does. The Lightning went to the Eastern Conference Final, I believe, 3 out of 4 years, and the year they didn't, they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Some years you're just like, I really believe every team's best case outcome and worst case outcome is a hugely wide swath. Now, there's a heavy middle, but the outliers can be both ways, high and low.
Markstrom's got to come back and be good, and we have to believe that what we've complained and bitched and moaned about with the coaching isn't real.
Or it's less of an issue, and I think it has been less of an issue the last month. 2 months, we've talked about it. It feels like Daryl's really softened up, and we only get to see a tiny piece of that, the public-facing side. I'm not suggesting he's coming in.
No, but we also don't see
of the day, boys. But I think
we also don't see what everything. When we were complaining, we don't see all of it either, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. But if you could come back and get league average net minding with this group, I still think that's you're way better off.
League average, you've got 10 more points.
Exactly, right? Not
Minimum.
even asking for them to be special. Average.
And the thing with, like you say, with Daryl, you don't need to come in and sing around the campfire. Just don't come in and fucking grind the guys. Personal attacks every day. Be abrasive. That's fine. Guys can handle that. Just be fair. And I think a lot of times, it becomes personal and it is unfair.
I would say this for next year. The one request I would have, if anyone's listening, and they damn well should, because we're always right, except for my bet yesterday. Other than that, we're pretty bang on. I want a different fourth line. I don't need old farts fucking around. Okay? Get it through your head, Mr. Sutter. That shit don't work no more.
Lucic is up. Trevor Lewis is an annual PTO guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not back. Brett Ritchie, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not back. I think expecting Kevin Rooney to be anything but in the AHL would be crazy. And they do have a bunch of intriguing young forwards that can skate. You can move with pace, and you don't have to be small. Look at Walker Duehr. I think you could have a really intriguing fourth line. If you find a nice little pivot, like I don't know where Connor Zeri's at, but if it was Zeri, Duehr, and Coronado, like
I know where Connor Zeri at. He's a hell of a lot faster than Lewis or Lucic everywhere. So
now,
please.
Yeah. So, and I think that's an area you change. Do you get Oliver Shillington back? That wouldn't hurt.
That's a tough one. The other thing,
top four guy that moves the puck and joins the rush. He skates well. They're missing that a bit.
The nice thing that we have mentioned, but maybe not enough, is that the goaltender in that AHL squad, that I think they're called the Wranglers, and they're just down the street. If your goaltending is horseshit and you're not making the playoffs, this guy should get an opportunity to play the last 5 games. Let's see how good he is. Mm-hmm. And you're going into next year with okay, Markstrom, sure, you might have had a down year. You've got a 20-game window. Show me what you got, or Vladar, whoever, because we got a kid here that's going to be hard to deny for much longer.
I think it's also a spot where you have to look internally as having 3 legitimate NHL options in net. And I know he hasn't played a game yet, but the trajectory he's on, where it's like best goalie in the WHL, best goalie in the WHL, rookie season in the A, best goalie in the A, again, leading the AHL in most goaltending categories this year. You have to expect, if Dustin Wolf's being Dustin Wolf, he's going to come in and be one of your best 2 goalies in camp. I wouldn't be surprised if they took calls on Vladar, just say, look, like he had a rough February. Other than that, toolsy, big, young, very manageable contract.
Wow, it'd be nice for him to pull it together for the end of whatever he plays over the next. But
honestly, if you had put him to market a month ago when he had picked up points in 13 straight, I don't think necessarily that makes the most sense for this year. But for next year, Wolf, I think he almost has to be on this roster. He's been too good to stay at that level another year. He's graduated, so to speak.
The thing about Vladar a month ago, though, is we were clamoring for him to be the number 1. We weren't trading him.
I told you dumbasses to trade Markstrom in October.
No one wants Vladar.
I know, but that's just Vladar was good, so we should kept him and run with him. He got a point. Come on.
We got to listen to you. I know.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. You were saying Toronto needed Markstrom when he wasn't playing well. I saw that again yesterday on Twitter. But goalies don't move that much in season. It's weird. Like,
now you were saying
1 or 2 guys this deadline, and it was like fringy stuff.
Something about your bet from yesterday, Rhett? What was
that?
Well, I suggested to you fellas. I know you got the Betway Bets of the Day at the end of every show, and I rarely jump out on it because you guys do such a damn good job. And but I had some insight. I had some thoughts. I'm like, boy, Boston has to fly all the way home either on Tuesday night or Wednesday and then play at home the next day after being on the West Coast and having a tough trip and blah, blah. And the Sabres are what? How many times has Boston lost at home? 2 or 3? Like the Sabres are one of the teams that's beat them at home. And the Sabres lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets. They blew it. They lost. They gave away 2 points. They're dire for points. They have to show up in Boston with a good effort. Put some money down on my beloved Sabres. I even got in an argument with Craig Rivet at the rink last night. I called him an idiot. I said, you don't know what you're talking about.
Craig.
Sabres.
Come on, Craig. Smarten up.
Poor bastard.
Craig Rivet.
I
think I have it here.
Oh, thanks.
7-1 Boston.
Oh, son of a...
Oh, not even
Nail biter.
Well, I meant the over-under. The over-under.
Right, yeah. Over 5.5.
7.5.
Rhett did make a point. He's like, you realize that Darlene and Tucker out. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Tuck too. Oh, dear.
Yeah, Tuck went on the IR, lower body.
No,
Or at least he's out, lower body. Yeah.
I give Buffalo credit. I think it would have been really easy to get really excited and blow your doors off and move your first for somebody. But I think they've also paid attention to their own history the last 15 years. And
who's that?
Buffalo. Like they know there's areas to improve, but they also think they understand that if you want to adjust your roster at the deadline, it's the most expensive time of year to do it.
And not efficient. There's two trains of thought here in Buffalo because a lot of people are watching Detroit and they're going, well, why don't we do what Detroit's doing? And why don't we admit that, geez, it's going to be a long shot for us. This is going to be tough now. Like it's not easy. It's been good, but the difference with Detroit is that they've won cups in the last century, right? Like, and they've gone to the playoffs. They haven't been out of the playoffs for a dozen years. So it's a tougher spot for the Sabres to throw in the towel, so to speak. And to add, I think, is absolutely goes against everything Kevin Adams has been preaching. We have to stick to the plan. We've got to. So
now, in the Pinder report, Ryan, are you going to be addressing the Eastern Conference wildcard chase?
No, get at it. No,
because Ottawa
do it right now.
Ottawa wins last night. Buffalo, as we mentioned, loses. Florida's in there. So you've got Pittsburgh and the Islanders. 71 points for Pittsburgh, 70 for the Islanders. Those are your two wildcard teams. Buffalo, Ottawa, Florida, Washington all have 66 points. Detroit has 65. There's 5 teams just below that cutoff line with 20 games to go.
By points percentage, it's Pittsburgh and Buffalo that are in right now. The Islanders are a hair.
It can go
the Sabres, but the games played are all over the place. You got 60 to 64 games. There's 5 games difference in this pack. It's a Rubik's cube trying to sort this out. Who wants to
get hot? It can switch. It can go up and down every single night depending on who wins or loses. And we talked about the other day, who do we want to get in entertainment wise, but I'll tell you what, some excitement there. I'm not sure about your Sabres all of a sudden.
Remember at Christmas? This East, it's all sewn up. 8 teams are in. Boring. No, we got fucking what?
The Chick Dog landed in Ottawa. Hey, Chikrin's there. They're feeling good.
Did he get hurt last
night?
I don't know. Left the game, but he got dinged up.
Speaking of hurt, Ryan, I'm putting you on the spot, but I would love to talk about the injury report because Boston ran into a couple injuries that we mentioned the other day when they were coming through town. Because the injury report, a presentation of McLeod Law. You can call Peter Klein. He is your guy when it comes to personal injury. You need to lose a little bit of stress. You're feeling personal injury, not ideal to begin with. You don't need to have a whole bunch of legal stuff and paperwork and red tape to deal with. Let Peter Klein and the personal injury lawyers at McLeod Law, they're on your team. You're not alone. They relieve stress, focus on your recovery. They do the rest. Extensive experience and understanding of your needs. Go online, McLeod-law.com. You can see P. Klein with a C at McLeod-law.com is the email. There's the phone number. And online, social media, all across the platforms, at McLeod Law LLC. Injury report for McLeod Law, Mr. Pinder.
Well, with the Calgary Flames, it's been an area they've been rather unscathed this year. It's still just Oliver Shillington back in Sweden for personal reasons. That's not new. That's not going to change. That is what it is. For the Minnesota Wild that come into town tomorrow, they're missing Gustav Nyquist, who's on IR. He's a winger they added from Columbus with some retained salary. And Jonas Brodin, one of the really good defensive defensemen in the game, is out for the Wild as well. Elsewhere around the league, you talked about it in Buffalo, Rhett, a couple big names out, Tuck and Darlene. And we saw the Bruins here a couple nights ago. It was Nick Foligno that got hurt against Calgary, limping off. He and Taylor Hall do not have timetables for their return.
Damn fakers.
Or just you're hurt, and why don't we make sure you're really 100%?
Damn it, Taylor!
On April 18th.
I don't want to risk it. I think you just be safe. Let's be safe with this one.
Yeah. Interestingly,
I know it's a hangnail. I know it's your pinky, but we got to be careful.
It's just not worth
infections.
the
You can
risk.
get an infection.
We can't
Staph
risk
infection,
it.
yeah.
We cannot risk it. The Calgary Flames could have, if they were in a position to buy, which I think we're all on the same page, they're not, moved Oliver Shillington to LTIR to open up more space. That's not something that is going to happen. They have $3+ million. They've actually done a really good job of tap dancing around and accruing space throughout the year. They could have added even more, but unfortunately, the GM's plan to add at the deadline didn't get the same marching orders from this team. They haven't.
That sucks too, right? Like,
yeah, because they got some room.
It was managed correctly.
Yeah,
You're supposed to be going for it.
Anything else of note that you've seen in the last 24 hours, Dino, for injuries around the league? It was funny to see JT Miller, who was week to week, and then suddenly was in the lineup last night as if maybe he wasn't that hurt and they wanted to showcase him. There's some weird shit going on.
That can happen too. There's good pills out there.
No, it's another one of those things that's frustrating about this season is the Flames, much like last year, we talked about it. They've been, knock on wood, they've been very healthy. They've not had a lot of injuries, not key injuries. No one's really missed any amount of time. Tanev did a little bit, but still, as a Flame, he has been surprisingly durable and dependable injury-wise. So you're not wrong. The things were kind of in place for the Flames to be able to do something at the deadline, but it certainly doesn't feel like it doesn't feel prudent at this juncture. Is that how that goes?
Yeah, spend the damn money, Tree. Go for it.
No, here, Rhett, there is a way they can do this, though. And if you've watched The Wild, they've added a couple of guys, Marcus Johansson and Gus Nyquist, but they've also brokered 2 deals. They've eaten small amounts of money and been a third-party bank, so to speak, eating salary and moving things along. It doesn't feel like something Murray Edwards likes to do. Hey, just give some money and we'll get some picks. But if they aren't going to add, that is an option. I just don't know how many big deals are left to move that need third-party brokers at this point. It feels like most of the real heavy contenders, those top 6 to 8 teams in your Stanley Cup odds, they've all bulked up. They're out of cap space. That could be a way to weaponize that cap space if you're not going to add. I don't see it. Not with this owner.
It's the injury report for McLeod Law. Follow them on social media at McLeod Law LLC, online McLeod-law.com, and beyond personal injury, of course, part of the community, a general firm, whatever it is when it comes to your legal needs, they are the place to go. Proud of their Calgary roots. It's a big part of their long-standing client relationships. They understand the city, the people in it, and the way things work, like the communities they serve. McLeod Law, varied and diverse and committed to making a positive impact on Calgary. Good folks over at McLeod Law. Pinder report. I was just looking at the top 5 on the TSN trade board as we record
Frank's,
this.
It's rough. Ooh.
When Joel Edmondson is near the top of the big names on trade deadline day, she's tough sledding.
Come on, Edmondson, pick him up.
Yeah, Frank's top teams. 5 as it stands. JVR, Klingberg, who's having an awful fucking year, turned down all that money mid-season.
Yeah, he's done a good job for himself, eh?
Kevin Hayes, who's got like 3 years left. That's a little ominous. Brock Besser.
Yeah, but Hayes at least has points.
Yeah, Besser's been a weird year. And again, I can't figure wingers in, wingers out, veterans, trade first, add first. It's been a lot of moves that I don't know all move in the same direction for Vancouver. And Colton Parayko, this is top 5.
Colton Parayko?
It's not been the Colton Parayko we watched break out in that Stanley Cup run with the Blues, and he's on.
Well, when the team's playing like shit, it's harder to play. I can tell you that.
So it's not Parayko's deal. It's because the team's not playing well.
Oh, goes hand in hand.
I see.
Let's get to the Pinder report. Sorry.
Yeah. Look at that.
East side the sea breeze and in the All right, that's probably good.
It's brought to you by Village Honda. Yeah, Village Honda CRV Hybrid has arrived. The sounds like we're getting maybe that we've been telling you about the new all redesigned Honda Accord. Stay tuned to the show. Some potential details on the brand new, highly anticipated Honda Accord.
If you find yourself, just to jump in quick here too, if you find yourself in the Western New York area, severe weather alert just came out, so be careful out there.
Village Honda. Your dealership for life, located in the Northwest Auto Mall. Here is the Pinder report.
Well, gents, we start with last night and a deflating. Hey, have you heard of this? A 1-goal loss for the Calgary Flames. Blake Coleman.
It's another gut-wrenching loss. I thought another game where we honestly played pretty well. We're just, right now we're a really good team that just doesn't know how to win.
Are you guys just getting kind of sick of it?
I mean, nobody likes losing. I think, I don't know. I'm hard on myself right now. I feel like I had 3 or 4 chances to score goals tonight that I just didn't convert on, and it's a huge game for us. And
okay,
it's
enough.
tough when you feel like you could.
Who's the idiot that asked that
That's
question?
Danny Austin, who was in studio with Rob Kerr the other day.
Danny, come on,
you
you're
guys
better.
kind of getting sick of it?
sick
No,
of
we're
it?
actually excited to lose one more 1-goal game.
In fairness to Danny, he's maybe hoping he gets a juicy quote. Like he maybe gets a curse
You
word
don't
or
get
something
juicy
there.
quotes with
He did get a juicy quote.
Dean. It's been a sticky point for our relationship since day one. I'm reporters.
Listen,
Stupid.
there was a good one on the post-game show last night.
What
too. What the hell
how
is
did the game go? Even right. Well, whatever.
Oh, come on now. I like Danny. Danny's a good guy. He's a hell of a reporter. He's a great reporter.
Yeah,
He was
hard
leading
hitting
his
question.
Getting sick of it?
Hard-hitting.
Hard-hitting questions.
He
Let's
knows.
move to the afterburner clip of the night. I'm not sure what this is, but I'm sure it's inspired and talking about a primo Flames performance at home. For the first half of the game, it seemingly every time I saw Milan Lucic's line with Walker Duehr and Trevor Lewis on the ice, so was Austin Matthews' line. You're at home. This is last change. I understand rolling lines. I understand Daryl doesn't like matching, but there are little things you can do to help give you a better chance of winning. And I understand there's a value of rolling lines, but this is a big game. This is the game before the trade deadline. You talked about that stretch. If they win tonight, you can say they got 1 point against Boston, outplayed them. They got 1 point against Vegas. They got 2 against Toronto. You pulled out 4 points in 3 games against contenders. You could make that case. You lose it, and you lose it, frankly, because you've got your worst line out against the Leafs' best line. Marner walks Lucic at the line. He looks up, and I don't know if he can see the puck. There's so much drool coming out of his mouth. He's salivating. He knows he can walk Luch. And it kept going and getting louder and more hand movements. That's the.
I had a lot to say in that
Digest
clip. It was good,
notes.
Great contributions, Dean.
yeah. Thanks,
And I'm
buddy.
like, yeah, and then the goalie. You're like, I didn't even think about the goalie pull. I'll have to revisit that.
You had a bit of a Beetlejuice look going there, boom, boom.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
You're kind of your
the-
body blended in with the background, and there was just a white head, white head there.
I was going to say, because the Beetlejuice guy was having a small head, and I've never, ever been
I'm
told.
accused of a lot of things, but
Of all the things I've been told in my life, that's not one of them. So I'll take
Aaron
it, I guess.
Vickers, our good pal, running the math on this. Not a
Slick
good night.
Vic.
Yeah, got like double AV. Wild, Preds, Kraken, Stars, Kings all win last night. Flames lose. Jets now the closest team to the Flames, 5 up, and they hold a game in hand. They're on pace for 97 points. Now, pace is interesting. They've dropped 6 to 7. Form's not great, but they are on a 97-point pace. Calgary would need 31 points in the final 20 games to reach 98, which would be one more than the 97-point pace of the Jets. They need a 775 points percentage the rest of the way to get to that total. It would be a mark of 15-4-1, Rhett, or 14-3-3, for example. I don't know that the Jets stay on the 97-point pace given their form, but the points made by Vickers, a costly night in the out-of-town scoreboard, and the Flames' runway is so short, they have to be great down the stretch if they're getting in.
That's what we're looking for, though. We want it big. You got to have a great stretch run, and that shit just carries on once the playoffs hit, and you just roll. Feeling good. Attaboy, Marky. Hey, put him out there, big dude.
Come on, Dean.
We can time stamp that one. That's good stuff right there. How did that go?
That's what
keep
the
it
Bills
rolling,
kick in
Big D.
rolling,
and, yeah.
rolling.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit. Huge fan.
Lots of trades yesterday, fellas.
Break some stuff.
Not the biggest ones, but some minor work we expected again getting done. We'll start with Jacob Vrana, formerly of the Detroit Red Wings. He goes to St. Louis. Cleared waivers this year. Has 1 year left. It's good amount of money, but not for a guy if he's going to play like Jacob Vrana had before he was in the player assistance program. He's a guy that seemingly could score 30 when things are right. Doesn't really matter who's around him. He's not reliant on a particular type of player to produce. Great finisher, boys. I don't mind this bet from St. Louis. They get half the money eaten for next year, and they give up a 7th. And Dylan McLaughlin, no offense, Dylan, don't know a lot about you.
Well, I like Detroit's move here. St. Patty's Day is coming. They got another Irish boy in the fold. This will be good. It'll be good.
You love to see those win-win deals. You get someone that can sing in Gaelic tones and a potential 35-goal guy going to St. Louis. Boom.
That's right. Gaelic tones. There it is, yeah. And I'm the one that sings. Look at this show today. You guys are on fire. It's awesome.
You got to get some good caffeine in you. Let's go. That wasn't
I'm
the only deal
fine.
yesterday.
Let's get some Bob Ross in you, buddy. Let's go.
Positive Ross energy. Let's go. Max Domi, forever a deadline move to Dallas. And guess who's heading the other way? Who's been in the minors all year, Tito? We're not going home.
Yeah.
Our boy Hudobin from the bubble.
Kind of forgotten all about
in
him.
the sauna. I had too. I was so happy to see his name. And Chicago is so bad, they may as well roll with, we're not going home until the end of the season.
They got any of those Turkish baths in Chicago?
Chicago's a big city, very multicultural. He'll be able to get everything
They were
he needs
even
there.
open in Edmonton at the time. So
So there's one there. Dallas is not getting a supreme defensive player in Max Domi, but we know he's a guy that can sort of score at that 20 to 25 goal pace. And
what was the
in the lineup.
So it was Hudobin, obviously, but what was the real price there to get Domi? Because
we'll put the board back up if we can.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that. So it's a second round pick for Domi, but you also get to dump some money.
They're tops in their division. What the hell?
I don't mind it.
Domi's a good pick. He's a good pick for he's nice to have on your team for a little bit of time.
For a little bit of time. And you know what? He's a bit
I don't mind that.
He's a bit of a prick. He'll fit in nicely there. Jamie Benn running around. They're kind of abrasive. He'll be a good
Richards
start.
out there.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move along to another deal. The Oilers get another defense first player. Massive, but yet not that physical Nick Bjugstad, the former.
It's not what they need.
Wild.
He's a big center. He's
Panther.
He's tall. Derek Ryan. Someone told me. I thought, what? That's not the worst comp. He was also a healthy scratch in the playoffs for Minnesota last year. So
he's the shit.
We'll see. If he's playing, he's a 12th, 13th, 14th forward here. But yeah, what's up?
You've seen enough of Nick Bjugstad. You got him pegged, hey, Retro? He's the shits. Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
If you want to do a deep dive, that's exactly where it ends up.
Wouldn't you love to have Retro as your director of pro scouting?
Now head to our scouting department for instant reaction from Rhett Warner, our head scout. Guys, I've been looking at the tape. He's the shits.
He's the shits. He's sieved out. He's fucking lazy. I would love to have. Oh, good. We got Retro sent in his scouting reports this morning. Yeah.
That would be funny to have a Red
Bull
just doing his scouting with those kinds of reports. Nothing in the game. Be like, I don't like this guy's pants. This gear doesn't fit. What a loser. I think the guys hate him.
Yeah. I don't know if you're getting that up there, but what's his name? The guy that played the defenseman. Oh, PK. He's got his fashion breakdown in the game center. Like, my, get out of here.
You don't need the fashion updates? Hey, I thought you were the guy that said it. You dress well, play well, look good, feel good.
No, I never said that. I think I said it was effing stupid that you had to put on a $2,000 suit to wear from the bus to the dressing room.
And then take it off 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
Twice a day. That's so dumb. Morning skate and then again.
When I'm change this game.
Head coach in the NHL, I will be wearing a tracksuit.
Yes.
Suit.
Yes.
The logo.
Please make it.
Possibly a hat.
I was going to say, what about a hat? Yeah.
The
Why
Richie
not?
Tannenbaum from the Royal Tannenbaums, the bomber. The red jumpsuit, the Adidas 3 stripes, the logo,
And if the
head-to-toe matching, I want some shell Adidas
I won't be
shoes.
able to at the start. I won't be able to dictate that. I'll have to work it in there, as I'll have to take any shitty job that's offered to me. But so when I start, I'll be wearing the most offensive suits I can find just to prove a point that they're stupid.
Gaudy ties, I could see it. Too big.
Well, remember,
jackets don't fit.
Robbie Ftorek would wear the dress shirt tie but sweater over top. It was Robbie the Sweater Ftorek. I might go with a
turtleneck that's up to my right here. Full turtleneck and a tie around that.
I'm with you, Rhett. I think that would be great. I think it's way too anal, but I also know that would kill Don Cherry. He would have a heart attack if he saw players not walking in with suits.
That's easy for greats.
Brian Burke would lose his shit. Like
Brian Burke would be pumped. He doesn't want to wear his effing suit either. He's half undone and tossed about. Nah. And
you know what?
Grapes gets free suits, and it's sponsored by. He doesn't want to wear that. No.
You know what it would be, Pinder?
Yeah. I'm wearing it from the bus to the rink. I get dropped off about 30 steps away from the door. So I go from the hotel lobby to the bus, which is 12 steps. Yeah. And then I go from the bus to the arena entrance door, which is 20 steps. So for 32 steps, I got to wear a suit.
4 times on a game day. Skate, out, pregame, postgame.
Dumb.
Idiotic. You know what
it would be too is he'd I'll wear the tracksuit. By Christmas, he'd be like friggin' Belichick with torn up hoodie and shit all over it, mustard on his chest.
Sleep monster got him, yeah. You know what it is? It's big fashion. It's the lobby behind this. You follow the money, Red. There's a conspiracy behind this.
You're damn right. It's being pushed. It's
like
those Hallmark holidays of bastards.
Mm-hmm. It's the garment district in New York.
That's
taking over
behind this. That and all those Italian last names on everyone's purse. They're getting all this money. More blockbusters. I'm sorry we got so off topic. Curtis Lazar's moved again.
Oh, Curdy. Oh, forever Canuck.
Forever Flame, forever Senator, forever Bruin, forever a Sabre. Forever available for mid to late picks. That's what he fucking is. And he's not, everyone loves the guy, but he's a fourth line winger.
Available. That is awesome.
Someone that punches people in the face quite effectively is swap teams again. Remember, it was only, a year or two ago that Zach McEwen went from Vancouver to Philly. Now Philly to LA for noted Richard Brendan Lemieux or Bendon Lemieux.
Bendon moves around a lot too.
He does. Yeah, he does. Didn't those two guys, didn't they fight each other all the time? I feel like at least once or twice a season you see those guys scrap one another.
And when we get the Flyers and Kings in the final, what a tilt it'll be.
What a tilt it'll be.
Speaking of former Flyers, T's and P's too.
What the hell is T's and P's?
It's T's and P's, right? T's and P's, buddy.
It's not the P's and Q's, it's the T's and P's. Thoughts and prayers.
Pints and quarts.
Tacos and pizza?
Legendary Columbus Blue Jacket, Jacob Voracek, who hardly played. And look at what they're building in Arizona, Rhett. These are all the corpses they're collecting on payroll. Weber, Voracek, Brian Little, Edgerline. We're not laughing about these are people that are hurt and can't play hockey, and that's sad.
That's not
Voracek,
funny.
It's head injuries. Funny. And for Shea Weber, it's 1,000 injuries. Brian Little head injuries.
I don't know who Josh Brown is.
I don't either. Maybe that's just a guy at League Man. But, if you really don't want to spend on players, you could get to the floor by inheriting corpses of former players, and that's now almost a full lineup for the Yotes. All they need is a dead goalie, Rhett.
Ooh, harsh.
See, that's the only thing with the Coyotes. It's like they're not even in the same league. So it's $28 million. Well, if you're spending $28 million, why don't you just spend it on players?
It's a 31 team league. It's a 31 team league and a money siphon. That's what it is.
We have to be very honest with what matters for the Arizona Coyotes. They have to be good in 3 or 4 years. Everything they do now is about being good in 3 or 4 years, because you're either into a new rink that's got 4 times the number of seats you have in the one now, or you're moving. It's Tempe or you're gone. You got to be good in 3 to 4 years. So do whatever it takes now to be good in 3 or 4 years. And that means taking bad money to get more picks. Go do it.
Man, and I'll say it again. Make it work. If only because Phoenix is a good city.
Yeah.
So it's not Phoenix sports fans' fault that it hasn't worked.
No.
There's been other things. Build a
shitty
rink,
fucking owners.
get some owners, and make it work. It's a huge city. Christ. Come on.
And Brett would remember, it's hard for younger people. When they played in downtown Phoenix, that was a great barn. You couldn't see one of the nets from a bunch of the seats, like thousands, but they filled it, and it was in the right part of town, and people in Phoenix talked about hockey. That ain't happening anymore.
Quite relevant. And it was good that you couldn't see the one end because I got shit kicked by Jim McKenzie, but half the rink couldn't see, so it was okay.
They're like, "Oh, sir, how are you? Why is your eyeball stuck behind your nose?" I was at
Jovanovski's
the
like,
game. I didn't see that.
What are you doing?
Do you know
I
who Jim
don't
McKenzie
know.
is? Not just the Yotes collecting picks. How about the work Chicago's done, fellas? I thought Arizona would have more firsts. Look at Chicago. 3 firsts last year, 2 firsts this year, 2 firsts next year, 2 firsts 2025. I tell you, they get Bedard. Look,
They don't even need Bedard. There's going to be some other kid in one of those 18 picks that's going to turn out.
I understand that, but ask yourself if it was Eichel or McDavid, how the Sabres would feel. You fucking want Bedard. You know that.
You know what?
Overrated.
Just kind of somewhat related. TSN, because they have no trades to talk about. I've been watching their trade coverage this morning. They did the
I watched that too. O'Neill,
the mock
O-Dog looked
lottery.
great.
Oh,
He
yeah?
did look great. I love O-Dog. But they put the same, whatever the math equation, all that in.
Who won?
It was Columbus. Vancouver, 2nd overall. As Arizona and Chicago all fell.
Who's second this year? Anyone know?
No.
You know what's interesting? There's this Mishkov kid in Russia who's got 3 years left in St. Petersburg. But like, imagine a guy ready to play in the NHL next year. You got to wait till his contract runs out in Russia. Like
St.
who is
Petersburg,
gonna
where
wait
I
and
saw
who's gonna
Mark
draft
Watton, but didn't.
That's the
Interesting
story
place.
there, I'm guessing.
Interesting place.
Florida?
And guys, have a great weekend. That's your Pinder report.
Whoa, hard.
I thought we were done.
Brought to you by Village Honda, your dealership for life. They want to buy your car, sell it to them, get paid in 24 hours. No hassle, no obligation. Just stop by, get your appraisal done on the spot today. It is Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, online villagehonda.com. As mentioned, your dealership for life. There you go.
Anthony from Village noting and reminding everyone, make sure you set your fantasy F1 lineup because tomorrow morning, right, Dean? Or is it Sunday morning? This weekend, F1.
I was going to share a...
Sundays, isn't it?
I'm not a big F1 guy. I just know that I got to get.
Well,
my
you should
fantasy
be.
F1
You'd
sorted.
love it, Pinder. It's something to get ripped and watch or
Like
go
at
and
5
watch.
a.m.?
Like, you got to get in there. No, they're going to have it in Miami and Vegas. Like, come on.
I was there in
Attend these
Montreal
events.
last June.
Yes.
I have good stories.
So I grabbed this story this morning. The F1 is going to Vegas, as we all know.
In fall, yeah.
The Bellagio has already sold out their F1 Heineken Silver Star Grand Prix packages. They've now put together a second package. 3 days, you get, it's the Bellagio Fountain Club, race tickets, unlimited food and beverage from celebrity chefs and sommeliers, plus access to private hospitality decks. You get access to the paddock, a pit lane tour. It's an elevated location over the lake at the Bellagio. Masahiro Morimoto, one of the celebrity chefs.
I was
will be
going
out
to
there.
say, who declares it a celebrity? But okay. Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
So for one of those tickets, it's weird. I actually find this to be not a terrible. What do you think? So race tickets, the
2,400.
Oh, for 3 days in Vegas, that's not even cover your hotel rooms. For
3-day package.
so and unlimited food.
Okay, so I
Unlimited
don't
food
get a
and
vote,
booze.
so you ask,
can.
and I can't just answer.
Okay,
Okay,
you go
so
2,400.
you're an idiot. You're wrong.
I'll say 25 grand.
11,247.
Who's closer without going over?
Canadian or American?
It'd be
Who's
American.
closer without going over?
Oh, we're Price is Right rules. Yeah, that's a one.
You effed up. I'm in. I was closer anyway.
Good one, Rhett. Nice. Bingo.
Idiot. Oh, that's way too.
See, I thought that 12 grand, call it. for race tickets and, like you say, hotels, would guess it includes the hotel. It's at the Bellagio. Food, booze, that whole thing.
I saw a package for $250,000 a person. And it's you can sex up the suites and go nutso on access and the seats for the actual race. I mean, if you want to spend $1 million in Vegas over the course of F1 week, they'll let you do it. They know what they're doing.
My asshat brother tried to get me to go to Monaco for one of the races. It was 50.
Ooh. And 50. Ooh. Are you any regrets, or you feel happy with that decision?
Yeah, I'm just pissing 50s out. Like, no.
When was that? Was that back in the day?
No, this was half recently. Since the series came out, because nobody watched F1 before that.
Post-playing career, that's a little tougher to just break off a 50.
And the worst part is when you were playing, you were very cocky about your money. I got tons of money. Rich.
My kids are going to have yachts.
Yeah,
cocky athletes.
Generational wealth.
First I've heard of it.
Stupid reporters. First I've heard of it.
St. Eugene Golf Resort and Casino. We welcomed them to the fold about a week ago. We are already, the wheels, as they say, are in motion. This is one of those places, and as I said, discover or rediscover the St. Eugene Golf Resort and Casino. You think of what are you going to do if your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever the case may be. You've maybe not thought about it. It's an experience unlike any other. The hotel, the resort it's iconic. The golf course is right there.
Website. Look at this. It's beautiful.
I'm telling you.
Holy.
Go to the website. It is steugene.ca. Twitter, Instagram at St. Eugene Resort. They have a spring swing golf package on sale now, starting at $259. You and a friend enjoy a night's stay around a golf, including a power cart. That runs between middle of April to the middle of May. But even if you're looking for something, they got the spa, they got the mountains, restaurant, casinos.
I was watching a video on my backswing. I saw a video somewhere. The guy's like, it's your backswing that sets you up. So I'm going to work on my take back.
There you go.
You'll take that back?
St. Eugene Golf Resort and Casino. New buddies of ours. New partners.
Can't wait to get out there, Dino.
With the barn burner. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
You know what we say? It's the warmer side of the mountains. They're going to start playing
what
golf
they say.
before we are. We're going to go out there, and people are going to be like, "Oh, do you need help shoveling? I can come over." We're like, "No, we're golfing. What's snow? We're taking ball marks out of greens here. Come on, get with the program, St. Eugene.
Go get a nice massage there, Retro. Get a nice bath.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I know, right? I can see it.
I was trying to up my intensity in the gym this week. I'm dying.
Oh yeah,
I'm dying.
You seen that big Flames fan with the Blasty shirt? Any great combos with him yet?
I haven't seen him lately. I was to spot him. Could be a spotter.
Sign up for it if you want.
Hey, Pinder, grab that uni, would you? Grab that beautiful sweater behind you. We got tickets for Mad Rose Pub to be given away, and we've also got this here, an autographed. That's what do you call? That's the it's got the tie down, the authentic Blasty Elias Lindholm autographed jersey. Even got the A, as you see there on the crest.
Off the glass.
She's a beauty.
Over here.
And it is Hearing Loss Clinic. They've given us a few of these to give away. We will award this one, let's say early next week. We'll give you the weekend. It's on our social media. You got to follow Hearing Loss Clinic on social media. All the details are there. Just go to the FlamesNation social media. You'll find it. You link in Hearing Loss. Old Rhodesy taking care of all of us.
Rhodesy!
Honestly, Mandeep, I'm telling you, these jerseys, when you see them, and I think I saw Mandeep was at the game last night wearing one of those bad boys. He
was.
They look awesome.
He was pulling his hair out over the lack of line matching.
Perfect.
You're going to love Mandeep, dude.
Oh, he's a beauty. Plus,
HearingLoss.ca on Twitter at The Hearing Loss, Instagram, The Hearing Loss Clinic, a 2022, and I believe 2024 already, somehow, a 2024 Chamber of Commerce Professional Services of Excellence Award winner. Well done, Hearing Loss Clinic. That's how good it is. Mm-hmm. Like, well, 2023, and you know what, throw in 2024, because they're just so good. They're so damn good. Yeah. So good. We have next week, we're into the first week of March,
Second week of March next week.
Well, okay. Well, whatever. It's March 3rd.
Rabbit.
2 announcements coming your way next week.
Oh, baby, Rhett, you're going to love one of these. I don't know what the other one is.
2, he knows what one is.
Okay.
Surprise on the other. We've been rolling some stuff out, right? You just never know what's coming from the old barn burner from Flames Nation. 2 announcements coming next week, and very exciting. Very exciting. We've been putting some work in, Retro. You know what one is. You've been kind of part of the...
Is this a tease that you're trying to...
It's a tease. I'm saying make sure you're around next week.
You're going to want... And here's the thing. You don't want to be sleeping on this.
Time sensitive, Ryan.
There is not an infinite quantity. This isn't oxygen of what we're going to
something.
do. Yeah, of
That's
the
right.
thing. So you're going to want to, like scarcity is a thing. That's what I'll say. Scarcity is going to be an issue. You're going to want to immediately act. Okay?
It's odd that you bring up scarcity because I'm looking at your hair as you speak, and I'm just staggered.
What's happening with it? Yeah. Oh, did he freeze?
No,
he's-
it's not
There's lots
good.
of it.
I don't.
There's
Like,
lots of
does
different
the
ways you can go. I
Aussie,
was going to put it
is
up.
the
and-
Aussie down with that, or is this
Yeah, she likes it. They're
in
nuts, though. They're
or is
crazy.
this in defiance of her, where you're like, you don't
Yeah,
tell
maybe
me
both,
what to
eh?
do?
Well, he was speaking of her earlier this week in very glowing terms.
Well,
That's
you
right,
should.
Yeah.
Takes care of
And
them.
I think next Tuesday we'll read.
Oh,
Dude.
I got a
You
big
did-
apology.
that was-
I was in the right. I was
Bang.
in the right.
well,
I was
that's
sorry. I was being selfish. Oh, really? Well, that's
stunning that you would consider yourself in the right.
Wow. Me? Oh, gosh. I'm happy to just yield. And I'll listen to everyone, and you guys decide.
First time for everything. First time for everything. So this is a Friday. What do we have going on for the weekend, man? We'll do our Betway Bets of the day here in a minute or two. Anything exciting? You mentioned hockey, right? Is this it?
One of
Kid
the my weekend will consist of one of the big things in the local area is called the Friday Fish Fry. A lot of the
Is
restaurants.
the fishing good out there?
Fishing's phenomenal out here. You don't want to
Really?
eat them so much. They're kind of
Oh, I see.
toxic water. Those Great Lakes aren't really all that clean. They're fresh,
Is this-
but not
Is
clean.
this supposed to taste like a frying pan?
Yeah.
It tastes like I'm biting a cord. Is this electrocuting me?
Anyway, the folks,
Is this wrapped in tin foil?
Exactly, yes.
the folks love their Friday fish fry, and Grammy and Grandpa they want to take the boys for a fish fry tonight. So we're going to do a fish fry. See what that's all about.
No, no.
Have you gone fishing? Sorry, have you
Grammy
gone
or
fishing since you've been out there?
No, I don't leave a rink. Tomorrow's the last day. I got 2 games tomorrow. Then I'm going to abandon my family.
We're all pulling for the Sabres to get in, but if somehow, some way, this resurgence of Buffalo has to wait one more season, you and Rob Ray need to take a camera and a bunch of edibles and beers and go fish together. And
He doesn't drink.
sure, so you can.
The last time I fished with Robert, he fell into a fire pit.
See, this is why we need a camera there.
It was not pretty.
Did you push him into the fire pit?
Nope. He needed no help. He was on his own mission that night.
Well on
Is
his
that
way.
right? Well, let's see. And like you say, he's cleaned up his act. Not likely to happen this time if you were to go again.
No, but I could slip something in his.
We don't.
That's
condone
good friends,
Don't.
too.
Don't. Slip,
Oh.
No. Ryan, what do you have going on?
Well, it's been a while since I've been to the booming metropolis of Carstairs, Alberta. But luckily this weekend we have a U9 tournament that will see us take the ice, I believe, 4 to 6 times between this afternoon, or this evening at 5, and Sunday afternoon. So if you need me, I'll be in Carstairs with the Nation truck, repping the barn burner.
I don't know that I've played in Carstairs. Please, I beg of you, test out the food
Yeah,
and give us a breakdown on
I'll
what's
give you
good.
arena food review. I'll get the Aussie on the camera. We'll do an arena food order.
Maybe a rink burger. If they've got soup, throw that in there. Yeah,
I recall playing minor hockey in Carstairs growing up here. That was one of the, okay, you play against the city teams all year. Cute. Let's take you out and we'll show you what small town hockey is. And it was like, oh, their best players are very big and huge, and their bad players are worse than our bad players, but they're mean as fuck. And we went to get our skates sharpened there, and he sharpened one side of the blade, not the other. I see what's happening here.
Oh yeah,
the whole
refs,
town's on this team.
The refs
are
not
the big city today.
Yeah, the refs are not afraid to play favorites.
Well, if you're from Carstairs, I know how you're gonna.
Your kids on the team? Well, that's not fair. And you know, it's one of those things where Carstairs is just in that. It's kind of that radius where it's just far enough where you need to rent a hotel room in the town that you live in. That what I saw you were doing.
I think what it is well, you want to, it's a hotel. Kids want to play mini sticks, so we got a hotel, and it's like, yeah, we'll probably want a water sign. It's like, okay, well, there's this place in Airdrie. Like, oh, fuck. So it's the hotel by fucking mall at Balzac. Like, we're hardly out of the city.
Yeah. So it's the hotel basically in the town you live in, but yet still not in the town you're playing the tournament in. So you still have to travel to get.
Half-hour drive.
It's awesome.
40 minutes from the hotel.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love it.
It was like when Rhett went to Pittsburgh for his minor hockey tournament, and the hotel was right next to P&G Arena or whatever, the paint rink, right across the street. Perfect location. If he was playing Penguins, his
stupid ass Jamie Lundmark. Remember that slug?
Yes,
he's invited my kid to come play with him in a tournament in Nashville, and in his little shitty email, he's like, "Oh, and we're about 30 minutes away from the rink." What?
If you're staying on Broadway, I get it. But if you're not staying on Broadway,
it's not near Broadway. It's not near Fall. It's exactly. I'm like, you son.
So are you going to Nashville?
Twice.
Oh,
retro.
Going for the 14th to the 16th for. I should get it right. Kelly Chase, he puts on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Finally back in the good books. What is it called?
Finally.
Guitar picks and hockey sticks.
I like it.
It's catchy.
Only issue being, when you asked me to go, I'm like, yes, absolutely, Mr. Chase, I'd love to. And then 2 days later, I'm like, I think there's hockey involved. I'm going to need equipment, and I don't have equipment.
You're playing.
And you didn't get to steal that stuff from Florida.
No, exactly.
Tried. Yeah. Tried to go Roman Hammerlick on them. They were ready for him.
They had everything emptied out, the bastards.
Security watching everyone.
Is that weird? I thought they would just... Gosh, they got to have gear coming out the yinger.
I think
in Toronto, they'd give you everything.
Part of it is that practice rink isn't used that often by the team, so I don't think they stock a lot of stuff there anyway. So.
And you have talked so much shit about the Flames, there's no way they're giving you anything anymore.
No, God, no. Yeah. He was going to fix Valimaki.
What if I talk shit about? So now you tell the truth and you're an idiot? Like, what do you mean?
You think Tree and Depot and Suts are going to be, yeah, come on down, grab 2 helmets and skates and whatever you need, Retro. Come on in.
I wouldn't ask them for anything anyway, because I've asked them for things in the past and they've hung up the phone. So,
hey, I'd like to take use
I'd love to help out. Can I would volunteer my time. It's nice to hear from you.
I am going to need you to run the rest of the hockey camp because I'm moving to Buffalo. Yeah, there will be no one to run practice on Tuesday through Friday.
It's only one rat.
Tanya still texted her the other day, and she was like, well, I would like to get you involved again if we can, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's my idea!
Why?
Yeah, you're an idea guy.
Sorry for making money for charities. My bad.
No, I think it's that.
Toy drive.
Oh, sorry for abandoning you on 2 days' notice.
I'm the worst human ever. Toy drive for less fortunate people. You're terrible. Get out of here. Nothing would get accomplished without.
Can you get back here so we can do a big party?
You get me a vehicle to drive and I'll come back.
You can have the truck while you're back. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a nice ride.
Easy. Yeah, it is a nice ride.
It's a nice ride, dude.
Surge.
Let's do our Betway Bets of the day and get the H out of here.
I think Sabres are looking good.
Okay, good. Yeah, write that down.
You should. We noted that on Afterburner. We played dumb on the show today. That did get brought up last night.
7-1.
Yeah, at least it was close.
Yeah, it was
missed.
almost there. Almost there.
Ooh.
Betway Bets of the day. Here's what I'm looking at for you.
Markstrom
today.
to Buffalo. There's a trade.
Jets, Oilers tonight. Give me the Oilers money line and a McDavid anytime goal plus 130. I like it, right? That was one of the pre-built bets on the Betway app. And then this was another one. Sebastian Aho, Connor McDavid, each scoring a goal plus 250.
I think the
Maybe a
Canes
little
have
bit
got
more.
soft touch tonight, if I'm correct.
What do they have tonight? I just because that was another pre-built bet.
Yeah,
So
the
I just
Canes are against Arizona. There you go. It'll be Carmel Ventimoka.
Got to watch out for.
what am I going to do with my winnings, guys? What am I going to do with my winnings?
What's
we're going to buy Rhett a truck so we can get his
Shea
ass back to
Weber
Cup.
and
Yeah, that's right. Josh Brown, whoever that was.
My Betway bets, I've got a lot of the similarities here, Dino. You're telling me I can get the Oilers to win against the Jets teams that's lost 6-7? As a big German, only needs 1 point, and that's plus money. And look, if you're going to ride a heater, let's fucking ride a heater. McDavid, first goal scorer, plus 550. He's got 2 every blood game. Let's go. Better bet of the day.
Be responsible and get the Betway app and be 19 and be responsible. Betway.
Hold on.
Best of
you
the
need
day.
to tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Oh, you're back in that life.
As it frustrates. It frustrates.
He had his 6 or 8 month vacation from it. He was active. He was out. He was about. He was feeling good. He had a positive energy to him. Anyway, what are you going to do?
I'm in my 24-hour. That's how it works for me. My one kid is playing lacrosse or something tonight. Tomorrow,
Okay.
we've got ringette practice. Yeah, it's you know what it's going to be. It's not going to be anything. I'm not going to Nashville or Carstairs.
Reminder, you are on Afterburner Monday, Tuesday next week.
Oh, son of a...
Thank God.
I had to remind him because you know what's going to happen. I dubbed. You said yes in the chat. There's a verbal reminder on show. It'll be Dino Monday, me Tuesday.
Rhett and Beetlejuice Monday night for Afterburner.
Do I have to get purple light? Because you guys have purple lights on in your...
Get one that says massage and hang it in your window. See what happens.
Just your blue balls. That's all you need.
Hour 10 p.m. until 4 a.m.
That's it for Barn Burner. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Subscribe and like. Go on our social medias. Please follow. And again, stuff coming next week. We just keep rolling stuff out. Barn Burner, FlamesNation. It just keeps getting bigger and better.
Be ready on Monday, fellas. Be ready.
Go watch Frank. Now that we're done, you can go watch Frank.
Yeah, and find out where Dmitry Kulikov's money's going to move.
It's going to be.
He's gone to Pittsburgh. Dmitry Kulikov traded to Pittsburgh.
Is that done?
It's done.
Wow. Okay.
I don't like the Penguins anymore. I'm done with them.
You're sick of them, man. There you go. Look at that, Brock McGinn.
There it is.
Huh?
And also, the Oilers suck.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
See you, boys.
Bye.
Stairs.